need to have that competitive bidding. Let's say you have an endoscope of this brand and you need to change the endoscope tip. You won't talk to other brands, well, because it might not be compatible. So all you have to do is ask that company to present a certificate that there are no other compatible brands. Sana wala naman. If there are if there are other brands or products from China that are compatible, it's still possible to get that branded one, the one that you like, especially if there's no track record for this China brand. Pwede pa rin yun. If there is a chance that this, sorry, I'm so biased, no? This cheap China brand will may destroy your machine because you're attaching it to the authentic, legitimate machine. Then you say so in your letter that there is a chance that it may void the warranty. Your machine might have a 3-year warranty, but the tips will have a 1-year warranty. Maybe if you put the wrong tips onto that machine, it might void the warranty. We don't want to do that. So you have to say that. Include that in your letter, the justification letter. Oh, believe me, Dr. Lam and I read your justification letters. Lumuluwa na yung mga mata namin that we read each and every one. Okay, so include that in your justification. Um, Repeat orders are allowed only for 25%. You cannot do a repeat order of the whole thing. Let's say you bought 1,000 tablets of X. A repeat order is 250 tablets and not 1,000. So pag naubos na yung unang 250, no, pwede na kayo bumili ng 250 lang. But after that, wala. Then you have to go through the real giving again. And at least for the first 250, the first 25%, you can do a repeat order. Okay. Shopping or small value procurement. Let's say you need one ink cartridge refill. Ipapabili ko ba rin? Siyempre hindi, di ba? Because it's just one. But if you're going to buy your supply for the rest of the year, kailangan ibigay yun. So if all you need is that one, that small value procurement, that's how much? 500, 700 pesos. You can do that. But remember, every time you do that, there's a load of paperwork that needs to be done for that 700 pesos. So, baka in the end, ayaw mo rin gawin yan. But if every time na mauusan kayo ng ink, you come up with 20 sheets of paper to buy just one cartridge, that's not worth it. So, the idea here is to plan. Plan how many you need. So pag nagpa-competitive bidding kayo, maybe it would be better to buy enough for the first 6 months, first year. Para you have it on hand. Negotiated procurement is again more often done with exclusive distributors. You negotiate it. Parang isa na lang yung kausap niyo. Ma'am Melody will talk about that tomorrow. That's a lot. If you're not busy tonight, you can download Republic at 918 or you can read it. It's actually pretty, am I being a geek? It's pretty interesting. Because if you read it, you know that it was written with the best of intentions. That it was supposed to be transparent, purchasing process for the government, but you know that there are many, many, many ways to go around it and many, many loopholes. Okay, this is also important. No one whose property and procured items become a trend project, especially those of you who have POS projects. DOH projects, some of that money was meant to buy equipment that will belong to the OST. Okay, so um, we just have to note it down naman that the OST owns it. The problem is that UP Manila has to pay for the insurance of that equipment. Yun yung masakit. I just found that out couple of months ago that the office was asking us to pay the insurance to GSIS. Okay. Maybe what you should do is when you request for funding, include the equipment insurance in your funding requests. Okay, because we're not always sure that we will have money. Remember, hindi yun, this year, hindi yun the budget sa Manila. We did not ask national government for funds to ensure non-UP Manila equipment, the DOST, the DOH equipment, the PCHR equipment. We did not ask. For 2025, we have not asked for that also. Because when we came in at 2023, nahingi na yung 2025. So this year, we're already working on 2026. So if you have new projects, my suggestion is to insurance for the whatever equipment that you will require. Okay. And then make sure that this equipment is included in the inventory. Okay, why is that? Kasi pag magkahanapan na, hindi na lumangka, somebody will have to pay for it. And if it is signed out in somebody's name, that somebody will have to pay. No, and a word about preventive maintenance. Most of the equipment will have 1 year preventive maintenance. If you have a long-term project, please try to extend that to 2 years or even 3. Yung 2 years might be doable with the budget that you have. Yung 3 is actually kind of expensive. Very few companies will extend their warranty to 3 years for cheap. They'll make it really expensive. But okay, you ask, so you're given the 1 year, ask for a second year and maybe pay for it, then ask for a quotation for the third year. So that the year after, you can possibly realign your budget to include that for year 3. Or if you can ask for more funding, at least you know how much to ask for. Okay, so ask station already. When my department buys equipment, we actually ask, so there's a 1 year warranty that comes with it. Always kasama ng braso to make it 3 years. The third year is usually expensive, but that's fine. The hospital will pay for it because of bad experience. It's more expensive to do an emergency repair, an emergency purchase of spare parts, than to have it under warranty. And then we always ask when we purchase, at the point of purchase pala, we ask for a quotation for preventive maintenance year 4 and year 5. So that we can tell the hospital already, we will be needing this in year 4 and year 5. So if you have short projects, good for you. It's not your problem anymore. But we do have long-term projects. But so if you have a 3-year project, extend the warranty to 2 years and ask for a quotation for the 3rd year. So that when you ask for realignment later on, we'll include that. Okay. This I see a lot. This venue, food, travel expenses. Please note that all of this should be in your PPM. It should have been considered. So all your training, all your attendance to training abroad, to conference abroad, your strategic planning, your year-end assessment, all of that should be included in your PPM and a specific budget applied to it. Okay. I have had problems with like this travel expenses. You sinubmit that documentation sa akin. So they bought the ticket and they went on their flight. And the only paper that they gave was an internet canvas. Go on to the website of AirAsia and then they just printed what was there. We can't allow that. It has to be specific for you. So you can ask for quotations, but it cannot be online. So like the panel will give a quotation, but you have to go to the panel of Fiscals. AirAsia can give a quotation, Cebu Pacific can give a quotation. Unless there is a way that you can, that's why um, honestly it's easier to travel if you have a travel agent. Really is much easier. Kasi may quotations na, may bookings na, all of those. And the paperwork is much easier for us. Although it turns out it's more expensive. Of course, you have to pay for the travel agency. So if you have a lot of time to skip, you don't do it through the travel agent. You can ask for mock bookings. When you look for a venue, let's say you have a December year-end assessment for your project, and you want to do it in, let's say, Baguio. That's fine. If your budget says so, you will given enough budget for it. But please, when you go to Baguio, I mean, before you go to Baguio, you should have requested quotations for at least three places in Baguio. Siguro naman may lugar na Jollibee, isang country club, isang whatever. Diba? Whatever. And then your choice should have been the cheapest. Then I have ways to go around that, but I can whisper that in your ear and you won't say this, and you won't hear me say it out loud. But there are ways that you can get what you want for it. You just have to be, you have to understand the law. That's why I'm asking you to download it. Read it, because there are ways. I'm sure you understand that our lawmakers made the laws so that even they can go around it. There are ways. Right? So that's why I'm asking. Ask for quotations. At least three quotations. And then your choice should be the cheapest one. If it's not just the cheapest one, it should be justified. Why this and why not the cheapest? It's also better if you get a quotation from a government institution. That is kind of the default of our government to government. Now, if you're looking for a venue for a conference, it's actually really easy to get the government quotation from PICC. And with PICC, we all know it's really expensive. Diba? Mahal sila eh. So, if you can prove that it's more expensive than, let's say, Manila Diamond Hotel, yun naman pala yung gusto yung Manila Diamond. Basta mas mahal si PICC kay Manila Diamond, di ba? Nobody can fault me for that. As I said, Hermes. Okay. If you have questions again, for them, finances first. Okay. This is a problem actually. We've been hearing it naman PPMD, like item budget. Now the PPMD, honestly, we don't know how we're going to do this yet because so now it's being done by UIS. But UIS on November 15th. Yep. Whether we want to or not, the system is going to shut off UP system. Unfortunately for us, we are the ones who are the heaviest users of UIS. Kasi in the ecosystem of UP, tayo yung pinakamabait. Sunod-sunod talaga. So when they roll out UIS, we said, sige, kahit mahirap, we took it on. When they rolled out SAIS, sige, we took it on. Ang diliman, how many years na yan? There's still CRS and they still have their own system. But now they have almost zero problems transitioning to the new system. Even their own, the people of the system have said, sa atin sila pinakahirap, PGH and UP Manila. Kasi nga, we have almost full implementation, CIS and SAIS. So parang bakit kasalanan na namin, sumunod kami. Sorry. So what I suggest you do now is download everything na, even the blank form from UIS. For me, it's for Excel. I'm sorry to the projects. It's gonna be really hard. Sorry talaga. Or if you want, do your PPMPs for next year now or next week, whatever, your SPPMPs now, while we can still use the system. And then eventually, okay? So you get the format now of the PPMP. Kunin nyo na. So that you can copy it on an Excel file. So, then hopefully, kung sa system is coming up with the post exposed to HR concerns and the full staff, which is the money concerns. For all praying that it will work. Let's see. Pero right now, I'm already warning you, please be ready to go manual. Because hindi nyo masabi, I didn't warn you. Be ready to go manual. Okay. Each project, I assume all of you have your line item budget. And that's fine. You know what to put in it. But what I do suggest is what I said kanina, yung insurance for your equipment, please add that. Please add contingencies. Kasi like now, it's really difficult to make emergency purchases. Yan, papasok na si Ma'am Melody, nandiyan na yung procurement. Sama na tingin niya sa akin, I said emergency purchase ako, ganyan siya eh. She doesn't like that. So put everything in your line item budget now. Include it all in your PPMP. Remember, if it's not in your PPMP, we can't buy it. If you, and there is such a thing as an SPPMP, a supplemental, but there is a deadline for that. I don't remember when the deadline is, but there is a deadline. You can't just think about something, make an SPPMP and then submit it to us. An SPPMP was not meant for that. Okay, your liquidation reports, that's highly dependent on your receipts. So if you did not, that box of receipts that I asked you to create in the beginning, if that's empty, then you would have problems with your liquidation. Okay, I do not sign anything that's older than 6 months. Yung mga nagsasubmit sa akin for 2023, I'm sorry, I cannot. Unless it is justified to the high heavens, I cannot. I would rather receive reports monthly than just one report that's 2 years old, that covers a 2-year period. But so I would really rather, ipunin nyo, and every month, paano kayo? It's much better than a balikbayan box size receipts, some of which are 2 and 3 years old. Okay? You will not sign that. We will give it back to you and ask you to justify. If you cannot justify, we send it back to you and ask you why. Just so you know, there are some colleges that got in trouble this past few months with CHED. CHED was threatening to withhold the scholarships because there was no liquidation from the previous year. So it's going to be the same way with research projects. So when UST, PCHRD, whenever your sponsors ask for the reports and we have nothing to give, bahala na sponsors. We will not back you up. What are we supposed to say? Diba? Eh wala kaming natanggap for 9 months na, 2 years na. So be judicious about delivering your end of year reports, please. I know that many of you just want to do the research. And that's totally fine. But please find somebody per project who will do all this administrative stuff. It's worth it to find that one person who will take care of all the receipts, all the paperwork, all the submissions. That's what your administrative aid or assistant is for. Worth it siya, promise. Okay. So annual reports pala should be given if your projects are more than a year long. Annual report is your realignment request. More often than not, we approve them. You just can't not request. So it has to be written down. Because otherwise, maybe you're asking kasi, why why are we doing this? The only answer to that is COA. Because your money, your project money is in UP Manila, it is subject to audit. So actually, honestly, it's a big part of my job is to stave off COA. Because nobody else wants to. So, Siyempre, alam niyo naman pagharap natin si Ma'am Lexi or kaya si Ma'am Hazel. That's not my job. So ako yun. But I can only depend on you if I know what's going on in your projects. If you guys are messing it up, I can't defend you. Now, if there is leftover money, and I hope there is ever, kasi sayang eh. Diba? That money is here na. So we don't, as much as possible, we don't want to enter it. So use it judiciously. Baka naman you can, if you need additional training, use it. If you need to attend a workshop, use it. If you need to buy a little more, few more ink cartridges, yeah. Diba? Because we don't want to return that money. Plus, okay, some of you might think na, o sige, tapos na yung project, wala nang pagkagastusan. Your publication expenses lately, they've been getting more expensive. Di ba yung dating $300, $500, $800 ang pangay, $2,500. It's not cheap anymore. So maybe you need to realign, and that's fine. At least that's just a letter request. Pero yun nga, before you give any of your money back, make sure that you really don't have expenses. Maybe you want to print a book pa after your initial publication. That's fine. You just need to letter request. Okay, so let's try not to return money. Oh, I put intellectual property there to remind you that if you do have new products or new patentable systems, we have a TTD book. So they can do the copyrights, the patents, and for you. But of course, it costs money. So if you want to include them in your line item budget, ask them how much it's gonna cost to copyright this new system or this software or this. Then give a little extra amount because we don't know if their rates are going to go up over time. In your 2-year project, maybe that rate have a 10 or 20% increase at the end of your project time. Okay, done. So have I scared you sufficiently? Yes. Because promise, we don't want to disapprove your papers. And nice is thing is signing the approval. It's easier to sign an approval than to make a router say that why is this like this? Please justify. Ever we don't like that. So please just again, if you can keep everything laking bagay, keep all your receipts. Big thing. And again, ask. You're free to ask. There have been some projects when halos mangyayari lang na sila. Joey, what can I do? Halika, kape tayo sa office ko. And then we go through each and every step. Ito, pwedeng din ito. This one, pwedeng din ito. And naayos naman. Siya, there are ways. Ano ba ang there are ways. We find ways. There is a way. Questions?
Wala naman po, no? So, two questions po siguro for me. One po, yung project po kasi namin ay for release, as mentioned po kanina with SPD, paparating pa lang year to conform. So wala pa po kami final NIP. And could we process reimbursements even with just the proposed year to LIP? Kasi we are already on our third quarter na po. So nabanggit nyo nga po na within 6 months po yung reimbursement. Pero yun po yung
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Just process it lang.
Okay.
Kami nang bahala mag-process.
Okay.
Kasi, okay, remember ganito, if we, accounting, budget, cash, we are late, kami lang yung mapapilitan. Kung kayo ay late, kung yung Manila ay ilan lang sa pag-invest mga karinig, at least kung kami lang, kasi nandun sa isang office, it's better than guessing than you guys.
Right. Sige, thank you. Then, last po, regarding po dun sa future repair and insurance funds for equipment. Dahil most of, nabanggit nyo nga po na all equipment naman, especially DOST funded, ay property of DOST. But what if dumating na po sa point that i-request na po for donation, so technically it would be UP property na po. Would it be possible po for the respective receiving departments to pitch in the request for budget to cover these repairs and insurance
Wait,
for
before it's UP Manila's
and
property.
after this. So pwede naman. So dapat
Basta ma-hook up siya as UP Manila property, we are obliged to buy insurance for all the ticket.
thank you.
Related sa question niya. So, good afternoon to me sa presentation niya. Ang question ko po is, tulad ng sabi niyo, equipment, GSIS insurance, tapos isama sa request ng funding. Ngayon, kasi kung bagong bili siya, ang sabi ng DSC, di ba dapat ano siya, yung UPM ang funding. So, saan namin siya ilalagay ng funding? Counterpart funding o DUSD pag nag-request kami ng insurance to sa equipment?
Pwede bang DOSC muna? And then, if they say no, then sasaluhin mo yung pero, pag nag-request isama niyo na sa request. Yes.
Parang natatandaan ko kasi sinubukan namin siya, tapos binalik sa amin, hindi sa sa hindi Manila.
And
Thank you.
as I said, my issue is not, it is the now. Wala kaming naka-budget for 2024 to 2025 na insurance. Because we got this memo from TUSC just a few months ago saying that, UP Manila is obliged to insure. Sandali, wala, hindi namin hinihingi yun. Di ba? And the budget cycle is always 2 years ahead. So, di ba, even us, we ask for money from the national government. Justification na naman. Bakit wala mo kayong pera dyan? Bakit for na naman? So, for 2026, hihingi na namin sila ang namin. Funding this.
Sige na,
Naman
kayo
po.
po.
Hi, ma'am. Chinky Delayo from Fiscal. Ma'am, for a new project, like new project on DOSDGIA. So when we were applying for it and when we were in front of Mexico, in our LIP, we were asking for a negative 80 freezer. And their number one comment is we gave so much to UP Manila of the same negative 80 freezer. All projects need that one. And they wanted us to submit a list of all available freezers in UP Manila, whether they're still being used or not. That was given by DOST. Do we get such lists from your office?
Well, you can address it to me, but that's what STM is for, Supply Property Management Office. We're the ones who do the inventory, so they have that.
When we did ask them, so what we did, we went to all the projects. We had someone go and ask, but we asked that from them. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
But you ask them.
Okay. Then second question, ma'am. So this is for an old project with that. So we finished it. All our reports are in. We're just waiting to be cleared. But until now, no clearance pa from COA. So is there a limit to how long we have to wait? Or should I go up and say, this is the project? What happens if I'm going to retire and I'm not cleared?
Are you in a rush? Are you waiting for another project to go?
No, but it's just hanging there. So
Codes like that they give us. Sorry, hindi lang talaga.
with that, ma'am, in the rest.
Like, kasi from COA, unfortunately, COA gives us a lot of deadlines, but they do not respect. Like there's been something highly in promotion for the consideration of my office since April. Petsa. Di ba parang deadline ng COA, bakit tayo may deadline sa kanila? Sila apparently they have deadlines for sponsors. You want to, you can follow up with them, but I'm sure they'll just tell you, sorry, it would be better if you had a new project that was at risk because you hadn't been clear of this project. Sige naman yung risk to hurry up the process. Sorry, no better actions. Ito naman si Ma'am Melody for procurement.
Ikaw sa Fiscal Melody naman.